Islam. It's August the 14th, 2019. I'll try this again. The tablet is acting odd. I don't know why, but I did take the SD card out and restart it again and try it again. When you know what Dwayne Arrington-Bey, Islam speak to you as I am speaking to you as your wife. North American National Republic, Islam, and the National Grand Sheikh, Arrington-Bey, Islam. You know we're among spirits that bodies that are able to control technology. So with their presence. So these experiments are able to control technology. So maybe that's what's going on. I'm not sure. Or maybe the tablet was tampered with when I was not able to see it. So I'm not sure. But it's definitely, I've only had the tablet for maybe 4 or 5 months. This is a Firefox. It's an upgrade. I've had to purchase a tablet before that. I had it about approximately the same amount of time, and it started behaving. It was a Firefox as well. It wasn't that it's a Firefox. Definitely I could tell that it had been manipulated with, and when so it's not that it's a Firefox. It was definitely manipulated with this technology. So I'm going to continue. So my mother had been diagnosed with being schizophrenic, and she was 10 times out of 10 murder. She was murdered by unclean spirits that gained access to her mind, departments of her mind, and they possessed her mind, her spirit, and which caused her to behave outside of herself. And then she went to the hospital. They diagnosed her with different diagnoses, put on drugs, and then later they sacrificed her. They killed her. And so that's exactly so Abbas Malik Bey, my youngest son, which would be 20 this year, same thing. His mind was possessed. Spiritually possessed. A lot of times these spirits, they speak of these unclean spirits, they'll just say use it. They encourage spiritual possession. They'll just start talking, they'll talk in a conversation and look towards my way, or telepathically send a message speaking of using it. So they're not hiding that they are here to spiritually possess and destroy, to kill and destroy. So the same thing happened with Abbas Malik Bey. His mind was tampered with, was invaded, different departments of his mind. He started behaving outside of himself, his true self. Went to the hospital. They removed him from here because 10 times out of 10, I know this, while I was earning money, they probably really attacked him because they gave him the code of telepathy. They probably really was attacking him, molesting him. And then when I came back, it's like it gradually got worse. When I came back from earning money from Burger King and Monty Great, and he had to be removed from here, and then they put him in a hospital, diagnosed him, and then now because he's not of him true self anymore, I truly don't, he transitioned. So and so that's what they do with many Moors that are sleeping and don't know of these unclean spirit presence. Many of these unclean spirits are the black and Negro, the African American. They keep saying brother, male and female, because the female rape, molest the exact same way, prey, cause sense sharp pains. The Spanish speaking, whether they're Mexican, El Salvador, South America, doesn't matter, Middle Eastern, and the pale skin. These are unclean spirits, so that are running rampant. And now we're in a time where knowledge of them is known and what their goals are, why the United States is considered unhealthy. So getting back physically, in almost all statistics is low in reference to physical health, which is connected to mental health. Because they use these weapons of mass destruction, these unclean spirits that has the science of telepathy to send sharp pains that causes citizens to have to go to the hospitals. And these hospitals that are created not for healing but for a profit use them. Just like that which the United States Navy and Army is being used, that have not taken an oath or affirmed to uphold these divine laws of freedom, the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, and 13th Amendment, 20 sections. So it's a cycle of crime, a cycle of bondage, a cycle of terrorism that's going on in that jurisdiction. And it's not only affecting individuals, but it affects the spirit of Mother Earth and the universe, the frequency. And this is where the cleansing, the prophecy of cleansing is I see, Dwayne, is happening. Okay. And so once again, I know there are hospitals that are formulated for healing, but they're not going to be the ones that are going to use these unclean spirits to send sharp pains so that they can make a profit and stay above water. So Dr. Nalim and Kadira Bey were one of the Moors that I really communicated with the most, any experience I was having that I thought was useful for them to give me insight, I sent it to them. They were doing a few scams, not scams, a few ways to build confidence in being an entrepreneur. I tried to follow and join whatever they were doing. Not scams, just different programs or businesses. And I believed in what they did, and I did it, even though I didn't make any money. But I still did it because I'm trying to demonstrate that I truly believed and trust. I had a form of trust in them and what they taught, and I was thankful. I was thankful to be knowledgeable of them in this teachings of breathing and other aspects of healing. So when I applied for nationality for all three of us, Abbas Malik Bey, Imani Gray, now he's Arrington-Bey, and I'm Ron Arrington Arrington-Bey. We're still waiting for the petition for our name change to happen. As of today, I spoke to the circuit court, and they said that the judge has the paperwork sitting on his desk. This is August 14, 2019. But we haven't received, but there's nothing in the computers. So I spoke to Annapolis Circuit Court, and they said that the judge has the paperwork sitting on his desk. So when I applied for nationality and I didn't have the name Bey on any of our information except for Abbas, because his father's last name was Bey, from Senegal. It's because I didn't know about the importance of the ancestral name of Il or Bey. That's why. And then in Georgia, no matter where I went, the courts rejected the paperwork. And you know this, Moorish American National Republic, you know they rejected the paperwork. You know all that. You know I paid the $300. And then when I went to North Carolina, the exact same thing. I tried to file the paperwork. I mean, it was in Georgia. It was hot. It was. I didn't understand what was going on, because I would call Dr. Leem and ask him what was going on. He never said you need your ancestral name of Bey or Il. He just told me to go back up there, and I did. I did exactly what they told me to do. Then in North Carolina, when I was thankful and grateful that they told me about the house, 573 Airport Drive, Airport Road, Warrenton, North Carolina, and I went to the circuit court there, and they rejected the paperwork too. And once again, I was not told about the ancestral name of Bey or Il. But when I found out, when I started to reach out for help to have, because I wanted us to have our nationality. This was something that was in my thoughts, not by mistake, because it was something that was needed to be done, because it was that time. I was in, this is spirit talking, Dwayne Barfield Bey, Islam, Moorish American National Republic, and to our National Grand Sheikh Joe Bratton Bey. This is spirit talking. Because you know, I know when spirit is at work. When on a physical plane, you have little knowledge that you're demonstrating, but yet you being moved in a certain way. A force is moving you to do something. So that's how I know there's something much, much, much more powerful than Moors having knowledge and being masters. And when these books, these spiritual books, even though there are many spiritual books out there, Dwayne Barfield Bay, speak of how what is given can be taken away, it is truly no joke. It's something to not brush off. It really isn't. Okay? It really isn't something to brush off. So something was moving me, but I didn't have the Bay or ill, and I didn't understand what the Bay and ill, the ancestral name, what was the importance, until I reached out to Moors other than Dr. Aleem and Arrington-Bey. And then I started to learn from Moorish American National Republic. And you know, Dwayne Barfield Bay, I married you in 2013, in the year 2013. And then I had started to listen to Moorish American National Republic and Asir and Selena Cordova Ill taking classes, and I started to get because I paid for their classes, and then they was just really they were really just like breaking down what I saw as the importance of Ill Bay, and then Moorish American National Public went even further, and as time went on I kept building with knowledge of this of the importance of Ill Bay, and even as I did, it hurt me so bad. It hurt me because not because it just hurt me, and I don't have to go there. You know why? So what I'm trying to demonstrate to you, Moorish American family, my Moorish American family, is that my intentions were pure with Dr. Lehman Kadira Bey. I didn't go to them thinking I'm going to get out of weaseling out of paying loans. I'm going to weasel out of paying loans or out of debt. And once again, I had no idea of the manipulation of thoughts these spirits are able to do to cause masses to make financial decisions that of this ease. I was being moved to get my nationality done because something else was at work. A spirit, you see spirit talking. Something else was at work that caused me to marry Masal Bey from Dakar, Senegal, Islam. Bey. So I'm speaking truth because I'm not going to sit here and waddle around truth. I'm gonna try my best to demonstrate truth. Islam. Dwayne Barfield Bey as your wife this lifetime. So my intentions were pure with Aleem and Kadira Bey, and it hurt me. Yeah, I was hurt. I cried and cried and cried. But and you saw I was hurt because I used to email the Moorish Americans saying what happened. Because I didn't just apply for nationality for me, but I applied for my two sons, Abbas Malik Bey and Imani Gray Bey. And I still didn't know the importance, now what I see the importance even more about jurisdiction, communication to these spirits, these government agencies. Because we're among a slave breeding plantation. We're among the slave breeding plantation. And this is in connection to Matthew chapter 13 in the Holy Bible, which was made public law in this country. The Holy Bible was in the year of 1982. So moving forward, because because these are unclean spirits. They with unknown mixed whatever DNA. They are trying to force breed in our ancestral line, trying to keep the frequency low, which attacks the spirit of Mother Earth and the universe as well. So, Dwayne, I'm speaking to you. You know, when as time went on, even in New York, Dwayne, and all this stuff was going on about you and the woman that you say you love, and that whole situation, you know, it was, you know, all these created falsities about you guys having so much good sex. That's why you allow so harm to come to me and all that stuff. That's false. That is false. I know it sounds like that it is what it is, but no, I don't see it that way. I don't. But I forgave after New York. Then I came here and I was in definitely the spirit of forgiveness with Dr. Lima Arrington-Bey. I forgave. I left all my things in Warrington because I was being attacked spiritually. But I knew something was driving me to come to you, Dwayne. To come to you. I want to be with you because I'm your wife. Whether I was abused or mistreated in the Sacred Grove, that doesn't matter to me at this moment. What matters to me at this moment is my intentions and that spirit of purity and that divine righteousness and impurity, just like impurity in reference to Dr. Lima Arrington-Bey. I knew I was your wife. Something more is at work here, Dwayne Byfield Bey. So as I came to Maryland, my spirit was in a forgiving spirit, and I was texting Dr. Lima Arrington-Bey, and I was texting the National Grand Shi, and I was texting Dr. Nalani Valentine, Asir Selena, just texting. You know, I truly, because I wanted to just forget all that madness of hurt and anger, and me and you communicating. But then I kept seeing this stuff on your website. It's like there was still something trying to keep that energy, like still trying to justify or keep that spirit of harm, giving that spirit of harm and that spirit of wickedness some form of substance, even when this spirit of forgiveness is here to move forward. A spirit of forgiveness is here to move forward, and say and admit wrongs. But every time I would look online, I would see sometimes, especially when you and I was there, it's like wickedness would come up, especially, you know, wickedness, a threatening wickedness, that sort of thing. So I'm like, why does it have to be in that manner? So that's why I keep standing on truth. Excuse me, I see there's some it's because of the camera. If I keep standing on truth, then that's going to get rid of the wickedness, because truth is art. Islam. Time never was when man was not. Remember Dwayne Byfield Bey. Masal Bey. I didn't know about the ancestral name of Bey. Okay? Truth is art. Time never was when man was not. And I don't care how powerful you may be in magic and spells and the women around you, but when it comes to righteousness and prophecy, there's something at work that you cannot control. I can't control. So I'm here in Maryland, and forgiveness is here, and I'm still seeing deliberate attempts to keep this wicked spirit of harm, giving it substance, trying to give it substance, accreditation, like it should have happened, supposed to happen. All these acts of betrayal, even to a point where you have spirits admitting that they did unclean acts. So in that, that's a frequency. So what I'm doing, Dwayne Baffle Bay, to my Moorish American Nation Islam, to our National Grand Sheikh Islam, is to ask, one second. Someone is the system is using taxpayers' money once again, because if they haven't claimed a nationality, then they're just a slave paying taxes. So they're using the slaves' tax money to use the ambulance trucks back and forth with the sirens whenever they feel like it, or the fire trucks whenever they feel like it, because they know that they're not in a constitutional fold and they see them as slaves. So these are slaves paying taxes. So anyway, and as I learned, it's lawful to pay taxes, but you have to be in a constitutional fold so it can be lawful. Otherwise, you are being treated and misused as a slave. It's chattel property, paying taxes. So I've learned that through Moorish American National Republic Islam. So anyway, as I was so what I'm getting at is Dwayne, I forgive Dr. Lima Arrington-Bey then, even when things just didn't make sense to why I was still seeing the spirit of anger or hurt or wickedness, and I didn't understand why. I don't know how you can be or do a certain thing with a person, an oath, take off affirm with a woman this lifetime, when truth is to affirm has already been done with you and I. And I'm not discrediting her. So what I'm saying is, if you allowing harm, I'm not discrediting her. I'm saying is, if you're allowing harm and things to happen, or you whatever reason that is circulating while you are not stepping up, I feel it's illegitimate. It's not real. It's not. There's no substance to it. It's a usurpation, because if you're dealing with righteousness and law, the Holy Quran Circle 7, chapter 35 speak of give us warnings about us as Moorish Americans trying to maintain a form of divinity, of righteousness, and it warns us constantly. And so in that, there's truth. So say that you made you affirm to be only loyal to her. Who did you affirm this to? And you have me here saying I'm your wife? Come. Who did you affirm it to? Where is the substance? Do you understand? Truth is the source, is the force, and demonstrating truth is power. So where is, in connection to the Holy Quran Circle 7, and I'm speaking Islam to Moorish American National Republic, National Grand Sheikh Joel Arrington-Bey, my husband Dwayne Baffle Bey, in reference to the Holy Quran Circle 7, chapter 35, where is the substance? Where is the credence? What gives that power if you affirm to do such things? Where? Who gives that power? If you truly are standing on truth, and you are a spiritual teacher, Islam, and you are here for the uplifting of the earth and the spirit of Mother Earth. And I'm not saying these are your words, but this is what is implied So I'm asking Dwayne Bey, Islam, and I'm not throwing darts at Dr. Lima Kadira Bey. I had to give that testimony. I needed to give that testimony because I needed to show that at this point, the history of intentions and purity, intentions in reference to me learning from Moorish American National Republic, purity as a Moor, intentions. I need to show a thread, or as you would say, or a line, a timeline. So those that of wisdom, because I know Moors that are on a high pedestal, they already know. They already know. Prophet Noah Ali already spoke about these Moors being on a high pedestal. They already know. They already know, and they're looking and they're watching. They're watching, they're listening. They know these spirits, they know. But because I believe in the righteousness in our family, in our nation, I needed to show that timeline of purity. Of intentions. So I'm telling you, Dwayne, I'm asking you in Islam to Moorish American National Republic and my family. So I forgive Dr. Lima Kadira Bey. I've been forgave them, but I needed to demonstrate this timeline. At this point, I just need you to see that you need to, that I am requesting truth from you. Truth as your wife. And if you don't see me as your wife, that means if you cannot come and be a husband to me, if you cannot provide for me, relearn how to love me, then I ask for the spirit of truth that you stand on. Don't release. Don't use a form of compensation to try to ease your consciousness because of all the things that have done. Because the truth is that the harm that was done, it has happened and it still is going on. And it shouldn't have not ever been. But things happen. People, Moors make mistakes. Masters make mistakes. But those high Moors on that high pedestal are paying attention. And once again, the Moorish American Foundation, I don't see it ever breaking, but it is shaking. It's shaking, and that's why I see different things are cells are turning. Because there's change that needs to happen. The frequency. I think about if she has children by you. It's not that I'm dismissing or wish harm upon her children or the children by you. What I'm saying is, Dwayne, is we are all responsible for our own salvation. I am trying to demonstrate a spirit at work and you being a spirit that has been fortunate to be in the spirit of truth, and she and other Moors that consider themselves masters, then there's more, I think, caution Caution is the word. Caution. Don't wait to see and experience something. Caution, Dwayne. Yes, if you say, okay, just cut her off. I'm not her husband. I'm not her husband. Just let it in a humble manner. And the National Guard, she gives me a call, and it is what it is. But at least, Dwayne, I have moved forward in thought in future lives from you, and you too. And so in time, maybe that harm, all that circulation of energy of harm will heal. If she is truly who you want to just focus on as your lifetime partner. Because I see when Moors unite, when Moors unite and they really understand of the uniting of the male and female, this is my thoughts. It's not just one lifetime. You come back and unite again and again and again and again, and if you're raising your thoughts and your higher self and uniting your higher self, it gets better. Soldiers come together. Soldiers come together. Soldiers come together. Soldiers come together. But if I'm your wife, and you see me as your wife, because you see there's more than, you have more than one wife. Then I ask for you, Dwayne Bey, and I'm not, once again, because I'm trying to keep that spirit of, it's easy to, like, if he says that's his wife, what about her? You see all this stuff happen. No. What about that? Time never was when man was not. And that's when I think humility needs to come in and be thankful and grateful that there's a healing that can happen. A healing and a spirit of forgiveness flowing, where there will be no animosity, no anger. There will be a possibility for all Moors, even myself who have caused harm through thoughts, all Moors to just heal and raise their frequency, which is going to help the nation raise their frequency, raise its frequency. And they be like, and so the youth is looking, it's like, those are, so I ask for truth, Dwayne. I ask for truth to Islam from the National Grand Sheikh Arrington-Bey and from our Moorish American National Republic. This is what I ask. This is what I request. Not because I'm in fear. My son Imani Gray, Abbas Malik Bey had no one to, if he did, I didn't see. When he was crying out for help, Abbas Malik Bey had I didn't see anyone call when those spirits was twisting his mind up. Many Moors had no one to call when these unclean blacky Negroes spirits, unclean spirits, the Spanish speaking, pale skin, foreign spirits, unclean demonic abominations, twisting their minds up, preparing them to be used energy in this slave breeding among the slave breeding plantation. Allah is great. So I ask for truth. Islam. It's August the 14th, 2019. Islam.